record on this computer. Okay, so welcome everyone to Term 1 Riverina Environmental Educators Network meeting. My name's Ben. Thanks everyone for joining us. And firstly, as always, an acknowledgement of the country we're on. So we're on Wiradjuri country. I love Wiradjuri country. I was born here and now I work here and I live here. So we would like to pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. We'd like to extend that respect to all Indigenous and non-Indigenous people here today. And on top of that, I think we would also like to acknowledge that the work that Indigenous culture has done here for thousands of years and continues to do today in looking after this place. And we hope to work in the spirit of that. We hope to work in the spirit of that culture as well. So the work we're doing here now is continuing to look after the place we're in. So without further, I think we better crack on. So first cab off the rank is Nina. Nina, are you able to give us an update on OzHarvest, the feast program? And I'm thinking maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll do questions for 5 minutes or so.
Yep, definitely. Well, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Nina. And I put together a short presentation, so I'll just see if I can share my screen.
Yep, I should have enabled it there. Hopefully it'll work straight away.
Let me have a look. No, I think it should be that one.
Yep, I've got it on mine, Nina.
Do you see OzHarvest?
I do, yeah.
Cool. All right. Maybe some of you have already heard of OzHarvest, the feast program, because we've been in touch with Melanie from the Murrumbidgee Health local health district. Sorry, all those difficult names. And she promoted feast in the area as well. Today I'm just going to give you a quick update about the feast program, what we do, and how your schools can get involved. So first of all, OzHarvest is all about nourishing our country. And you probably all recognize the yellow vans that rescue the food from going to waste and deliver it to agencies and feed people that need it. But next to rescuing food, we also think education is really important because education is key in making positive change. So we have a couple of education programs at OzHarvest as well. And one of them is Feast. Oh. Let's see. It's not going to the next slide.
That's okay, we can be patient.
Let's have a look. Ah, that's interesting.
Mute.
Yep. Okay, Elizabeth, we can hear you, and we've got your slides now, Nina, as well.
Sorry for that.
Everything just happened.
It's difficult working with two screens. But Feast is all about inspiring kids to eat healthy, waste less, and become change makers in their community. So Feast stands for Food Education and Sustainability Training. So a little bit more about Feast. It's a year 5 and 6 program that runs for 7 to 10 weeks. It is a teacher-led program, a curriculum-aligned STEM project-based learning program, and it's focusing on food and fiber and the cross-curriculum priority of sustainability. So it ticks a lot of the boxes. The culmination of the program is the creation of a school cookbook that the students design by creating their own wasty recipes. So while they are going through the 10 weeks, they have a lot of theory lessons, but they also have practical sessions, which are probably the most fun for them. It is a sustainable program. When the school signs up, we will provide them with a lot of equipment, and I will talk about that a little bit further. But they can all keep the equipment. So the idea is that the school can keep teaching it term after term after term. And Also, because we have a lot of funding available, thanks to philanthropic organizations, we are very lucky that we have Feast across Australia already in over 317 schools, and we still have funding available for more schools to sign up. So get in quick. As I mentioned, when a school signs up to the program, they receive a lot of equipment and resources from us to make it as easy as possible for a teacher to implement. So first of all, we will provide them with a curriculum ready package, which includes a detailed lesson plan for over 10 weeks. It includes a lot of student activities, extension activities, but also hot and cold recipes, a practical guide, how to organize the cooking in a classroom, and all those kind of tips and tricks. Next, they will also receive a class kitchen kit. As I mentioned before, the most fun part of the program is the cooking sessions, and we know a lot of primary schools are not really equipped with good kitchens, so we provide kitchen kits and electric fry pans for the schools so that they can organize the cooking in a classroom setting. So no real kitchen is required. They can just organize their classroom by setting up a couple of cooking stations and use all the equipment that we will provide to school. And because it's quite an extensive and detailed program, we also provide teacher training. We started with face-to-face training a couple of years ago, and throughout the program, we still offer that face-to-face training, of course, in some of the cities that we are, where we have our offices, but we also offer online training to teachers that are more in remote areas. So we make the program accessible for everyone. So a teacher can just sign up, and the online training is a 3-hour training, and the face-to-face will be a 6-hour training. And they learn all about tips and tricks, how it is linked to the curriculum, how to get parents involved, the whole community, but also how to make sure that the students love the program. As I mentioned before, Feast is in 370 schools across Australia at the moment. As you can see on this map, it's quite spread out Australia, but the main focus is in New South Wales, and that's mainly because we launched and piloted the program over there. But we are available everywhere. So if you know any schools that might be all across on the other side of the country, let them know as well, because we do have funding for them as well. We already have a few schools in your region who have signed up to the program, and some schools who have expressed interest in the program. And that could be the case because Melanie maybe have mentioned it or promoted it in one of the newsletters. But again, we would love to have more schools on board in your area. So if you're interested, feel free to sign up. We still have funding available. So just get in as quick as you can.
Fantastic. Okey dokey. So Nina, I did the training with a view to go and help teachers do the program. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to, I won't have the time to go to the schools this year. However, another one of our volunteers here at Air and Earth, where I work, did the training today, and she was actually awarded Australian Environmental Educator of the Year last year.
Wow.
So she would be the person that I imagine would be going out to schools in the area, Jenny Hill. So, Jenny Hill. So, if there are any schools in the area, then I would definitely recommend it, having done the training. It looks very thorough, and there's lots and lots of support for teachers. So it looks like something that teachers don't have to do a lot of preparation work for. It looks like something teachers can sort of go, okay, there's this person that can help me, and a parent can come in and help me, but all the lesson plans are written, I don't have to go and buy the stuff sort of given to me, and I can do that program over a term.
That's correct.
Fantastic.
Right, made it easy as possible for teachers to implement. And I think some background of our team and the person who created the program, she used to be a teacher herself as well, so she knows how busy teachers are and how they are looking for resources that are really easy to implement. So it's why, yeah, we try to overcome those barriers already for the teachers. But
yeah, I'll just throw it open. If anyone else has any other questions, please jump in. But otherwise, I probably do have another one if no one's there, or rather an observation in that I feel that the one of the reasons I think the Feast program looks so good is because it's kids doing things as opposed to perhaps what they're not just watching a video, or they're not reading or listening to someone talk. It's about the program looks like it's about kids making recipes, so it's hands-on, it's creative. It looks like it's grounded in quite a bit of research as well, going through the training there. And the thing I really like about it is that it's giving kids positive habits to use for the rest of their life. So it seems to be about, okay, how do we make a shopping list? How do we not buy too much when we go to the supermarket, then have to throw a lot of it out? When we do throw it out, how can we compost it instead of chucking in the red bin? And it's about when we do have leftovers, how do we use up those leftovers as opposed to throwing them out? And all those things are super, super relevant to primary school kids in learning about doing environmentally friendly things. So, you know, it's not necessarily easy for a primary school age kid to go to Bunnings and buy a tree and find a place to plant it, or it's not. But I think it is reasonable for primary school kids to be thinking about, I wonder what we're going to have to eat at home this week. And, oh, look, I haven't eaten it all on my plate. Where does that food go now? And how does it have an impact? So it looks like, to me, it looks like your program addresses all that, and it looks quite good.
Yeah. Well, I think you sold it, Ben. Thanks.
Yeah. So I did the training. It took me a couple of hours. So, but yeah, I'm a bit bummed that I just don't have the time to go and do it. But yeah, for any teachers out there watching the video, yeah, I think it looks really good. Possibly the best thing is that you don't have to do work to deliver it. You don't have to go and invent things. It's all there for you. Okay, well, thanks very much.
Sorry,
yes.
I did have a quick question. I thought,
yeah.
Hi Nina, it's Kim. I'm from Sturt University. It might be useful for the people on this group to know what schools you've already engaged within our area, because then we might be able to use our contacts to fill in some of the gaps, particularly with some of the schools in the lower socioeconomic areas of our town. So maybe that's something that you could share afterwards, and if anybody had some contacts with some of the others to fill the gaps.
Okay, Nina, are you happy to maybe send me an email with what schools have already been able to contact? Is that all right?
Yeah.
And then I'll put
Yeah,
it in the
I can
minute.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, sorry, Nina, I might have to move on to the next cab off the rank, but thank you very much, Nina. If you need to shoot off now, no problem. And okay, well, I might go for the next one. I might do a little bit about Earth Hour that's coming up, if that's okay. I'm going to do a bit of a screen share here and see if I can find what I need to find. Okay, so, and you see my screen, people, at all? Is it coming up? Anyone? Can you see anything about Earth Hour on your screen?
Yeah, it's all there.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Clinton. Okay, so this Saturday is Earth Hour, and Earth Hour basically is something that's kind of administered by the World Wildlife Fund, so what we know as WWF. So how this relates to us as teachers is that they've produced a whole heap of resources that you can use in a school. And I think even though Earth Hour is this Saturday, I think, sorry, I'm just going to take it off. You can still hear me? Can you still hear me? I've just taken it off. Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah, cool. So WWF have made some resources. So can you see those tabs changing as I go across tabs? Yeah, okay, cool. They've made a whole heap of resources. So that can be either done before Earth Hour or after Earth Hour, which I think is really good. So they basically, Cool Australia is who WWF have partnered with. And yeah, they've got curriculum resources. So this page here, I suppose if you just type in coolaustralia.org and on their website type in Earth Hour, they've got lesson plans for early learning centres, primary and secondary. So I believe this is the early learning. They've got 6 lessons, primary, they've got quite a few there as well, and secondary, they've got a few as well. But the thing that I thought was really cool is, well, obviously, so this is a page where you can sign up to say your school's switching off. So I don't know, you turn the lights off for the weekend or something like that. But what they're doing, which is, I think is really, really cool, is they're doing a thing called the Earth Hour Solar Light Challenge. So you're able to, at your school, do a charity where you raise money to get solar lights. I think they go to Papua New Guinea, to schools, to children living without access to modern electricity. And I just thought that was, look, if I was a teacher, I would think that would be pretty cool to be involved in. So that's Earth Hour. It's this Saturday, and there are a lot of things that teachers can do, lessons before Earth Hour or after. I'm going to stop my little screen share here now, and hopefully I've got Elizabeth with me here now. I'll wrap that one up there. What I might do is ask Mick, would you like to go next? Hold on, who was next cab off the rank? Yeah, Mick Gooden, are you able to? Yeah.
Happy to do that.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Mick. Well, I'll finish that there and you can take it away. And you can do a screen share if you like as well.
Sweet. Oh, here we go.
Yep, that's coming up. I can see it.
Sweet. Is it in presentation mode yet?
No, it's not in presentation mode. It is now. Yep, you're in presentation mode now.
Sweet. Yeah, righto. Well, thank you, Ben, for the opportunity to talk to your group. Yeah, I'm Michael Gooden. I grew up on a farm 70 k's west of Wagga. I still own and manage a business there called Old Man Creek Grassfed Bulls. And in January this year, I started working for a company called RCS. And and before that, I was working with local land service for a couple of years. Before that, I was been involved with land care for sort of 10 years or more, and always had a bit of a vent on marrying production ag and natural resource management together. So that's sort of been a passion of mine for quite a while. And then, yeah, with this opportunity arose to work with RCS, it was, yeah, a bit of a really good opportunity that I'd been looking at for a while. And yeah, when this job came along, it was something that was probably meant to be in some ways. RCS was founded by Terry and Pam McCosker in the mid-80s. They basically teach a course called Grazing for Profit, or Grazing and Farming for Profit. They've trained thousands of people over a long period of time, and approximately got a 1.5% of Australia's managed land under people who have been trained how they train. So RCS's vision is to empower farmers, the most honourable professionals, to produce healthy food. Now that is obviously debatable when you're talking to a group of teachers, but I suppose the mindset there is that we're trying to bring that nobility and honour back into farming rather than just being a bulk commodity. We're wanting to try and empower farmers more so to take a lot more pride in what they're doing. I can empathise with some of the things that you guys are sort of talking about in terms of course preparation, because my wife works part-time at Wagga High. She's in the English or HISI department there. So I get a little bit of this, the course curriculum and what's required a regional man at home. So RCS is about a three-legged pot. Basically, that's the analogy. You need to have land, business and production, and they basically have to be balanced at any point in time, because if one of those is more in whack or out of whack than the other, then the pot falls over and the people fall out. And so that's the analogy that the business likes to use, and very practical. You need to have land in balance, functioning properly. You need to have obviously profitable production, and you need to have a profitable business. And at any point in time, those three things have got to be in balance. Obviously, people are the most important thing in any business. We need people who are happy and content, who want to achieve their goals, who are profitable, who manage the whole ecosystem and acknowledge that things are always connected, above and below ground, and create wealth from the assets that we've got: the sun, the air, the water, and the land. We want soils that are healthy and functioning, sequestering carbon, complete ground cover, friable and loose, and so they can accept all this rain that we're getting at the moment and be able to utilise that, and alive, and they're treating the soils as a living ecosystem. Then in turn, we have grazing in pastures that are diverse, produced without a lot of chemicals, require very low input, are permanent, and use water and sunlight very effectively, which is the assets that we get for free. We want livestock healthy and productive and content and happy, and at a very low maintenance. And then in a cropping situation, we want healthy soils. We want to be regenerating a landscape. We want to be producing healthy and safe food. We want to utilise the sunlight and water that we get. We want businesses that are profitable, fun to work in, and create the conditions that provide for multi-generational opportunities. Now this here looks a bit messy. There's a lot of information on this graph, but this is probably what distinguishes RCS from a lot of other businesses, or what we really try and teach is basically time control grazing, acknowledging that we cannot teach that in isolation, but what we're trying to do is educate land managers in the benefits of having time control grazing, because you get a lot more ability to manage and plan your grazing. You can rest your country, match your stocking rate to carrying capacity. You can manage the livestock effectively. You can manage density, biodiversity of livestock, and all your other bugs and plants and all that. So they're really big, strong advocates for time control grazing. And so how can schools be involved with RCS? And it's probably similar to the OzHarvest, is it's probably about education and participation. So I think the change is coming from the ground up in this area, and we want to be getting children to be asking their parents the hard questions about, where's your food coming from? How's it being produced? Who's your farmer? That type of question, because that's where that conversation starts, and then people have got the opportunity then to, be challenged and ask those questions. Yeah, that's about it. I'll just get back out of this. And obviously, yeah, fire any questions that you want at me.
Well, I think I'll throw it open to everyone else first, Mick, and if they don't, I will.
Yeah, I'm just got to get back to you.
That's all right. It should say at the bottom there, stop screen share or something.
Up the top, wrong screen.
Beautiful.
Here we go.
Gotcha. We got you. That's okay. We, as I said, I think perhaps in the email to a lot of people, we might not have a lot of teachers here today, but we get most of our interaction with these meetings via email when we send out the minutes and the link. So I've got a question, Mick. Well, first of all, thanks for that. And I think my first question, which popped into my head, was which teachers? So I know you'd worked with a geography teacher before, and that was sort of what I thought was the angle. But now I'm thinking an ag teacher. Schools with ag. I know agriculture is at a lot of the high schools. Would that be right?
Yeah, I think ag would be probably this is the challenge with this, is that you can't just isolate, anything, you can't isolate it. But I've been in touch with a couple of the ag teachers. Trevor Dawson from Track, I've had a little bit to do with.
Yeah.
Ben, I can't remember his surname, it works at Maher Day. Mm-hmm. And then, but I think, science, biology, geography, you name it, it's all linked back, really. And I think that's one of the issues from a farming perspective, is that you try and pigeonhole things, and when you start looking at managing ecosystems, you realise that they're all interlinked. Business management, all that is all it's all tied in.
Are you able to give us a little bit more detail, for example, on how you've helped one of the schools so that teachers that are watching this could say, okay, I could see myself sort of in that position with you helping?
I suppose, yeah, the first thing is to be able to come and talk to the class. The timing of that is a challenge because, you know, at what point in the curriculum do you put that in? I suppose it's about from where I'm coming from, is probably almost challenging some of the status quo, acknowledging that some of the things that we've been managing for haven't been ideal from a healthy food and healthy landscape function. But it's it's a delicate balance because we're not wanting to ostracise people, but we're just wanting to provide a credible alternative to what the status quo is.
Yeah, Mick, look, this might be going out on a limb as well, but sometimes it's important to challenge certain things. And if we don't, we keep perhaps making the same mistakes forever, and no one wants that anyway. I think the thing I'm interested in is, so you said you can go to a school. Have you ever done something, or could you do something where you might help facilitate a field trip or something like that? Or would that be within your scope?
Yeah, very much so. Well, for me personally, I probably honestly prefer a field trip. So, yeah, well, there's one that we're hoping to organise with Kildare, and I've done, like, in my main line of work, I'm doing a lot of paddock walks, paddock talks with farmers on farmers paddocks. So, for me personally, that's where I prefer to operate because when you're out on a farm like that, you've got all the answers are there in front of you. You can create discussions quite easily. I know, from a kid's perspective, you can touch, feel, see, do. You can create those sort of opportunities to have a discussion then and there. It becomes very tangible.
How do teachers get in touch with you, Mick?
Well, I suppose through you now is easy enough, but yeah, I'm very contactable. RCS has got my contact details.
Okay. So through Air and Earth or through the RCS website.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. The other thing that popped into my head there, and Clinton might pop up, you know, you might have something to say on this as well, is the STEM, the whole science, technology, engineering, mathematics. It seems like all of those things go into that planned grazing. So that you're measuring your paddock size, you're doing I guess those sampling squares where you're looking at how much vegetation is in a square metre. You've got to do the maths saying, well, if I've got this many head of cattle, how long are they going to stay on this square metre size paddock? And it's STEMmy, isn't it?
Yeah. You go, Clint.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, there's a huge amount of potential there to look at it in the ways that, you know, kids can look at improvements they can make as well. We've done, last year we did a unit around like preventing rural crimes, and kids got a bit of exposure into, you know, the sorts of issues that people working in rural settings have to deal with and how to protect, you know, paddocks and whatnot. And they engaged really, really well with it and came up with some really cool designs. And then to take that sort of same idea and apply it to the way that we grow food.
Okay. Cool. So we've got geography teachers, ag teachers, science teachers, or STEM teachers are all welcome to contact Mick for a bit of support. You might be overrun, Mick. Thanks very much for that, mate. We might go next cab off the rank, but yeah, thanks very much, and hopefully some people get in touch with you. Next one, we might go Nick Maher. Are you there, Nick?
I am. Can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Nick, are you happy to have a little bit of a yarn about the Kreative Koalas initiative going on at the moment?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to share my screen as well, just because I've got some pretty pictures and they're a bit more interesting than me. So can you see that koala there now?
Yeah, that's amazing.
So the Kreative Koalas program is run through a program called Picture You in Ag, and they have a range of programs, but this one's the Kreative Koalas, which is aimed at primary school students. And the idea is that the kids get a fiberglass koala to paint. And in partnership with that, they also work on a project which is a local locally relevant, they come up with it, or they come up with it in partnership with local organisations, local farmers, that sort of thing. And it's based around the Sustainable Development Goals. So it could be something to do with water or with labour or with any of those Sustainable Development Goals. And they come up with the solution, and they also paint their koala to represent basically around the theme that they've been doing their project on. So there's all sorts of different ways that they come up with being creative. And it works on like it's on the sustainability aspect of the curriculum. So it's a cross-curriculum priority that it's based around. We have funding through Riverina Local Land Services. They have put in funding for 12 schools in the Riverina to do this program. We've got funding for either this one or the Archibald Prize, which is a similar program but targeting high schools, and they get a bull to paint, hence the Archibald Prize. But it's a similar sort of process of going through a project-based case study where they're solving a local solution based around the Sustainable Development Goals. And obviously, just a different sort of approach that they take depending on whether it's primary or high school. So we are partnering to deliver that, and Erin Earth, Ben's been involved as well, and the Environmental Educators Centre. I haven't seen Danielle at this meeting today, but she's been really heavily involved in getting some local schools signed up to do it this year. We've got 3 primary schools doing it this year. So we can still take on a couple more this year, and then we've also got funding. The funding carries on to next year as well. That's the basic premise of it. I guess the only other thing is that we're also working with local organisations, farming organisations and other sustainability groups to partner with the schools to help them to come up with a solution to their problem, or to help them come up with a problem that they want to solve. So it might be a local farming group might go to the school and say, these are the sort of issues that farmers are having, and that might appeal to the school to solve that or to work on that as their issue. So, yeah.
Very good. Okay, so that's really cool. It's sort of got 2 different aspects to it, doesn't it? There's like a visual art aspect, and then there's, I guess, a little bit of a planning sort of aspect, because they have to maybe identify a problem they want to contribute to.
Yep.
And then there's a creative, I suppose there's a creative sort of problem solving thing where they go, once they identify the problem, they sort of got to say, well, what's our capacity as a class? Nick, is it classes that do it, or year groups, or whole schools? Or
it's totally open. So smaller schools, it is the whole school. Yeah. If it's a bigger school, it's usually stage 3 for year 5 and 6. Yeah. That do the main problem, but the whole school can get involved in the artwork.
Okay.
And that, I think the thing about the artwork, it is a little bit strange to have that as it's sort of a bit out there, but the koala or the bull is something that the school gets to keep, and it's quite a quirky little thing that they can have to promote what they've done and to sort of highlight their involvement in sustainability.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll throw it open to everyone else first. Does anyone else have any questions about how that might happen in our schools in our area?
Can I just ask a quick question? I've been, the school I was at previously, they did the Archibald competition a couple of times, and that was fantastic. It was really cool to see them working on that. Does this have like the same sort of competition element to it as well, where they submit the koalas and?
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Yep. So there is an overall prize of best koala and best project design and that sort of thing. And there's we're hoping, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it, because it originally we were going to kick this off last year, and then it all obviously got postponed. So it's been a bit slower on the uptake this year. I think people were because we couldn't sort of sign up schools last year to start this
Yeah.
year. We've only got the 3 for this year.
Yeah.
But we were going to have a local event, sort of a celebration day. So I'm not sure whether that will be the way it runs this year, or whether that's sort of whether they're submitted to a state network or something like that. I'm not quite sure how that'll work, but yeah, there's definitely still that element of being a competition. These photos that I've been showing are all from one of those celebration events at the end, where they all, the schools all come together with their koalas and talk about what they've done. And
So Nick, at this stage, are there still spots for schools in the Riverina to apply for this?
yeah, yes, you have to get in pretty soon to start it. With the current groups, but we can, I guess I'm happy to talk to anyone and we can work out whether it happens later in the year, or how we can work it out. But yes, definitely still opportunities.
Okay, so it's the date today is something like the 23rd, I believe, of March.
Mm-hmm.
So would sort of you suggest if there was something in, like if you had an application in within the next few weeks, would that be okay?
Yeah, that should be fine. But maybe just contact me and let me know, and then I can just let Lynn at Picture You in Ag know that there's another application coming in.
And how do we contact you, Nicole?
By email or phone. Am I on the shared list? But I'm at Murrumbidgee Landcare. So
what can you say your email address? Are you happy to say that?
I'm happy to say it. It's nmaher, NMAHER at mli.org.au.
Cool. And just to sum up, Nick, if everyone else is free to jump in, if you want to, are you able to describe maybe one example project a school has done? Do you know of any?
I have some here. Yep, I can open one up and show you. Let me just.
Just for like 30 seconds, just to get an idea of, okay, if I'm a primary school teacher, how big is this problem that I need to identify that goes along with the artwork? And you know, how much do we have to do as a school to sort of get something out of this?
Do you mind coming back to me so I can find it in my files?
Absolutely. Well, what we might do
and I'll
is
show you that.
I might move on to Kurrajong recycling, and we might come back to you later if that's okay, Nick.
Perfect.
Thanks, Nick. Okay, so our next cab off the rank here is Elizabeth, who's sitting next to me. I'll introduce Elizabeth. So Elizabeth would be the education officer. Is that right?
Community education officer. Yeah.
Community education officer at Kurrajong Recycling.
Yep.
Okay, so Elizabeth, I might let you take it away, and then when you want me to do that screen share, just let me know.
You might as well put that on.
Bring it up now.
Maybe.
Okay.
So, and I'll start talking. Most people are aware that we do have this service for people, or opportunity for students or community groups or interested groups to come along and do tours of our site. And like most people here today, COVID put a stop to a lot of that last year. And we've just reopened. So, but there are controls and limits to numbers. And so I go out to speak to schools and community groups or businesses, as well as having people come and do our tour. We have a special training room, and it's quite handy. We've got our website up and going now too. If you just put Kurrajong Recycling, you should see us. Got a little bit of a video here in the training room.
Hold on, I have to get my Zoom,
trusty assistant.
My Zoom skills hopefully are. I can get this video up for us. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so can you give me a nod, people, or a yell out? Can you see anything up on your screen there?
Yeah, we can see it.
Hello?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, woohoo! Okay, so would you like me to play that?
Yeah, so I can talk.
Okay, cool.
So we're just in the training room now, and we have this really just some of the resources there, especially now we're doing more with preschools as well, having to develop a few new things. But you can see through this window here into the materials recovery facility, or the MRF as it's called. Most of you have probably seen this. It's really a really great training resource for kids, and even adults really enjoy this. Lots of physical things going on. We've got loud machinery and lots of recycling and non-recyclable products there. So we can shut a blind over that window when we do have visitors and we're doing our talking, and then we unveil what they can see. Apart from the Murphy, what you're seeing there is where the material that's come from your curbside bin is being slowly elevated up to where it's being sorted by the first group of fellas, and then it's continued to be separated by machines. Then it goes back to people again to pull out the different plastics, and the fella that just turned and looked at us, he's the quality control on the cardboard there. So if when you come, if you're lucky, you will see a truck emptying the contents as well. So it's just some of our other resources there. There's plenty of room, there's kitchen facilities. It's upstairs, but we have a lift as well. So that's just set out for primary school kids there. There's lots of options. Yeah, so we're looking at numbers of around 28 is our limit. Often what we'll do is split the group, and then half would do the tour, so not people can't actually walk into the MRF that you saw, but might as well just let that run.
Yeah,
That's the next one. Shows something slightly different outside the window. But we also go to the e-waste area. We look at where they're sorting out the return and earn bottles or containers, where the glass is processed, and also where we munch up larger and harder plastics that don't come through your curbside recycling bins, and where the secure document destruction goes on, where it's baled and separated, shredded and baled. So there's quite a few different aspects of recycling that you can see at our centre. So just to let you know, yes, we're open for business again. There are a few requirements apart from just the number, but if there's primary school groups, we need at least one adult per 5 children, and it also depends on the your children or the students' characteristics. They might need more, they might need less. But anyway, yeah, we just ask that people ring us and we can arrange something. I only work Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. On the screen now we can see the truck that takes the Wagga curbside recycling. You're probably aware that Alice Kent did lots of work with getting these little logos or little cartoon characters through the schools. You can see Trixie there, the yellow character, performing magically recycling, it would appear. So it's good. The kids identify with a lot of that stuff. And yeah, so I've got about 8 or 9 visits with different preschools through Alice Kent's sustainability program, so that's good. But the big aim this year is to get into the schools a bit more, and also if possible get into the high schools, which we have very few high schools visiting. And yeah, so it's moving along from there. So if there's any questions or comments, or I'll finish up there.
Cool. I'll throw it out to everyone else first. Questions or comments, or do you think your kids would be interested in sort of going to Kurrajong at all?
I'm from Wyalong Public School.
Welcome, Melissa. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I've been flooded in today, so I'm at my house. Sorry about that. But we've just started recycling at our school this year. So because we're out at Wyalong, we don't have a lot of access to a lot of recycling. So I've been bringing soft plastics into Woolies to drop off every week, and we've been doing our cans and bottles. But so you said that you could take 28 kids, but just 28.
Yes.
Like, could we? That's probably like we're only a school of 80. But if I brought some of my bigger kids, probably 28 wouldn't be enough. Could we do 2? Could we organise 2 tours on a day, and we might be able to go off and do something else?
Yep, that would be fine. Just give me a call, Melissa. We'll work it all out. Where does your recycling go? Because we don't get apart from the cardboard that we do there. I don't think. I'm just wondering if your town sends your recycling to Kurrajong, do you?
They don't. To my knowledge, nothing's done.
Nothing at all. Yeah, a few towns are like that. They don't have any option.
Yeah. Yeah, because we take our cardboard around to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've put in the soft plastics, and then I drive that over to Temora, and then we recycle our bottles.
Fantastic.
Nice work, Melissa. Good on you, mate.
So we're trying hard. So I'm trying to
Yes,
inspire the kids.
Melissa.
So
Well
this is probably right up my alley.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
fantastic. Now, just on what your other class can do, Melissa, there are so many options that we could arrange for you in Wagga. So there's a trip up to the Air and Earth Garden where I work. So we're a 1/2 hectare native garden, and I can do lots of educational activities here. But also Wagga Council does has a whole range of different workshops that they can do as well. And we actually specialise in doing exactly what you said. Half a group going to one place and the other half going there and then swapping over. So Elizabeth, Alice, who's at council, and we're basically a team, but we have different employers. So so I guess you could, how do we get in touch with you, Elizabeth?
69255004.
That number
69
255.
A little slower.
Oh, sorry. 69255004.
69
go to our
255
Yep.
It just crackled right in the middle. Yep. Okay.
And just have a look on our website too, and you can see a bit more about what's going on, and just give us a call. But as I said, I'm only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the days that I work.
Okay.
Thank
you. Fantastic.
That's okay. So Air and Earth, where I work, probably just have a look at our website, which is erinearth.org.au, and our phone numbers on our website 69257155. And then Alice Kent is contactable if you just call Wagga City Council front desk, and they'll put you through to Alice. So Melissa, yeah, we really look forward to supporting you, and would love you to, tell everyone that all of these different options are available to them. Elizabeth, I had a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So you do early childhood,
Yes.
primary, and secondary.
And university and people like me, old.
Oh wow! So
everyone.
Okay, wow.
Community groups as well, all the way through. Yes.
Okay.
We even let Kim come at one point.
Oh, easy, let anyone in.
We behaved ourselves.
We get a lot of retired groups, university, third age, Rotary. We had what were they called? Some group from out west as well. Lots of them.
My question for secondary school teachers, which KLA, which subject would you, I'm thinking geography would definitely be one. I wonder if any of the other ones, like...
They can work that out and let me know.
They can work it out and let you know. Righto. Okay. Again, I think science, technology, engineering, maths, it
all comes over. Even if you're looking at contamination levels, the costs to run the business, we've got solar panels on the roof.
Yeah.
It's,
wow.
We've just got into hybrid vehicles, all that sort of,
That's
how far we have to send, all the distances we have to send materials because of our location. Can be applied to every and anything.
Yeah, wow. And last but not least, is there a cost involved in...
Just me.
Sorry.
My personal cost, no.
Just your time.
No,
but for,
cost.
For teachers, it's like, okay.
It's no cost.
So that makes things a lot more...
Yes, the big benefit, the big aim for this is to improve the quality of the recycling that we receive and to reduce our cost of having to send the materials we can't send out to Kreative, where we have to pay $145 a tonne to put it in a hole when it could have gone straight there through the red bin system. So we don't like all that double handling and all the other side effects that it has on our business.
Righto. Because I suppose if your business has more money, you've got more money to do other really good things as well.
And to be better, upgrade our recycling and all the rest.
Okay. So I should say probably as well, Air and Earth, generally, Melissa, if school groups come through to Air and Earth, it's generally a gold coin per student, so $1. And for Wagga City Council, unfortunately, Alice is an apology. She couldn't be here today. I'm not sure of the costs, but again, I'm pretty sure that they're not prohibitive. They're not sort of $10 a student or something like that.
What's Alice's website that's got all the...
Alice's web, is it Sustainable Wagga? It's the Wagga City Council website, and there's a sustainability section on there where her education stuff is.
So if you have a look there, Melissa, you'll see all the different programs. We're all on there.
Yeah. Righto. Okay. Is that, you want to say anything else, Elizabeth?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, that would bring us neatly to Clinton and Isaac. Do you mind if I quickly do a little intro there, Clinton?
Go for it.
Okay, so basically all that I know at the moment is that, well, I thought I knew, was that you guys were doing something really, what I thought was really interesting. You were measuring the amount of energy usage at track and how it goes up and down. But not only were you measuring it, you were using the measurements in teaching.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting as a student, I would think it was interesting. But as a geographer, and someone who's, you know, understands the science around climate change and energy usage, I think this is, again, one of the most valuable things you could teach a school student. So food at primary school, I think, is really good. But by the time kids are getting to high school, I think it's really, it's awesome. They can start to have some type of understanding of, well, when I turn on the lights, what is the cost environmentally, financially, you know. So what did I get wrong? What did I get right?
Yes. So we got this software Power Radar that we've been using to actually look at different energy usage across the entire campus. And Isaac will just share the screen so you can start taking a look at that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And so it gives us a whole bunch of metrics looking at like power consumption on a particular timeline or across different buildings and across different elements as well. Like, do we use most of our power off mains, or is it through lighting, fans, etc.? I think I'd like to say that we've used it heavily already, but it's been one of those things where you sort of get things started and then just wait.
Sorry, Clinton, I'm going to have to just quickly interrupt really quick. So I'm hoping this recording I can send out to sort of teachers. So I just thought I would, if that's okay with you. So whatever you're sharing, I just want to check it's okay to share with other teachers.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any emails open or anything like that.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
I mean, I think you can look at our electricity usage. No,
yeah, cool. Cool.
Isaac made that call, not me, so it's fine.
No, I think it's, if we're just looking at your electricity usage, it's really interesting, and I think it's relevant to students' learning.
Yeah, so the thing that we've been trying to sort of pick is where we can actually incorporate looking at this data into different units. And there's a few different areas. So I teach physics in at year 11 and 12 level. And we've actually just started looking at energy and energy transformations and power and doing a lot of the maths that sort of supports that. So having these real world examples where we can say, well, you know, this is what an actual, like a relevant amount of energy being used is, or this is what like particular power is. So they can sort of put it in context has been really good. And then like year 9 science, for example, we do units on sustainability, and we actually look at power consumption and how we can improve it. So then by taking a look at something like this and saying, well, you know, our power consumption is actually a lot higher than we'd like it. What are some of the technologies or processes that we can incorporate into improving it? And the kids could actually design some things that we can establish and come back in 2-3 weeks and look, is that making a difference to our power consumption?
So I think the year 10 STEM class later on in the year, they're looking at doing a sustainability unit around power, and they might do a power audit of the school. And this, I guess, is just a different spin on how they might collect data to make decisions about power usage and things like that.
Isaac, are you able to just do a quick explanation of what's actually on our screen here? There's reds and greens and stuff.
Yeah, sure. So this is the heat map of like power usage by hour. So red, and it's week by week too. So let's pick a day. Today's the 23rd.
Your teaching skills are on show here, Isaac.
No, a lot of pressure there. So green's a low power usage, and then, you know, as it gets to the red, it's going to indicate that there's a higher usage in that particular hour of the day. So, you know, if you looked at the heat map, we could say, all right, on the, what column were we in there? The Friday the 12th, you know, at 2 p.m, we're a particularly poor consumer of electricity then. Perhaps, or maybe it was a particularly hot day and there's some, you know, reasonable explanation for it. But what's sort of interesting, we're having a flick through before, and the system has, you can break it down on different circuits of our power consumption. So we've got a couple on building 7 and on building the administration building that are sort of curious to look at. And I was looking at this spike here on building 7. So building 7 is our mass building, and just around 5 a.m. we all of a sudden start consuming 5 kilowatts an hour. And
then it drops off again.
And presumably no one's here at 5 a.m. So collecting data like that, that's sort of a bit granular, and you can sort of target it. Yeah, I think we'll get kids to dive into that and use that to do some decision making.
Yeah. So again, which KLA area? Which subjects?
So for me, I know Paul's going to have a look at STEM class. So that falls into TAS for us. But Clinton, he might look at it with his science guys.
Yeah, I'd say geography would certainly have, you know, elements of this they could incorporate as well if they're looking at sustainability plans.
Okay. And what was the brand? Was it Power Radar?
Yeah, Power Radar.
Okay. And
I think it's by Centrica is the company.
And so how did you find out about it?
It was, well, it's our operations manager, Alex. He got a call from
these guys and the university. I think it was CSU, and said, like, they're hosting a meeting. Can you come and do you want to come and have a look at this product and what they're offering? And so we jumped in on that and looked at, you know, what it would cost to set everything up and what sort of data we could collect, and then decided to run a trial.
Okay, so if I was at another school, another high school, and I thought, oh, this is pretty interesting. What's my next step? Who do I call? Who do I email? What website would I go to?
Yeah, so we can, like, I don't have the details with me right now, but we can give you the contact details for the Riverina rep for this company, and they can actually organise. Like, they're happy to do like a Zoom meeting where they can run you through it all, or like, like we actually went to a face-to-face at CSU with a couple other people. So there's always, like, I think it's probably worth sitting and having a chat to them.
Yeah, I think so. From what I remember when I looked this up last year, I think the website is called Power Radar, POWER RADER. Does that ring a bell?
Yep. So Power Radar, and then but they'll set up like a dashboard for you once it's actually up and running, and you'll just log online and you can check it.
Yeah, cool. So for me as a geography teacher, the thing that I find interesting there is if I know how many kilowatts our school is generating, I can convert that into, well, if we're getting that from a coal-fired power station, how many tons of carbon dioxide are we putting into the atmosphere every day or every week or every year? And if I know 1 ton of carbon dioxide is actually equal to a sphere, 10 meters by 10 meters, I can start to make this tool, the Power Radar tool, I think a really powerful tool in my own classroom. And the fact that you're actually looking at your own school, I think that sort of would give students a, I don't know, a sense of ownership or a responsibility perhaps.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the other great element is, so we actually have two seniors that are our sustainability captains. And so giving them a tool like this as well to say, you know, well, here's the data around how much power our school's using, like start to do some of that analysis, and you can actually come up proposals on how we can reduce our energy consumption. It's a really cool sort of student-owned project as well.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, is there anything else you want to throw in there before we go?
No.
No? Anything else from you guys?
No, I think that's all right.
Any other questions from anyone else?
Yeah.
Comment? Could you get the kids to bring in their power bills from home?
Yeah, actually, I've done that before with science lessons where we compared houses, you know, that had LED lighting versus incandescents, and looked at some power bills, and when parents don't mind. It's pretty interesting, actually. You see a whole bunch of kids run home and they're like, Mom, Dad, install LEDs, do it.
Yeah, wow, that's really interesting. And I think, Mick, if you're still there, I think that was really interesting that we were chatting one day and you said one of the reasons you came up with a fire management strategy, and I don't know if it was at your house or at your farm, was because I think you said your son came home and said, we've been learning about fire plans at school today. And so it sounds like you've had a similar experience there, Clinton, where you know, you've been learning about energy consumption. So I think that probably brings us to our last port of call, which is a bit about CSU. So you mentioned that Sturt Uni was maybe a little bit of a partner in this, is that right?
Yeah, no, they were. Oh, they were involved in our initial meetings and sorting out setting up the tool and how we might actually use it as an education tool.
Okay, well that's a brilliant segue to my last video. Is it's a video to show what Sturt Uni has done in terms of what they do at their uni to be a carbon neutral university, certified carbon neutral, the first one in Australia. But I think more importantly, and the relevance to our meeting, is that they're actually open. And Kim, Kim, can I throw it open to you?
Yeah, I'm sending an apology for Ed. I was hoping that he was going to pop up, but he's been way late, but that's okay. I've just taken a few notes here. In terms, just on the previous discussion by the track teachers, our students do an annual energy challenge where they compete in their different residences to reduce the amount of power that they consume, and they usually do it over winter. They didn't do it last year, but they did it the year before, and they developed a set of like 3 videos about what they did. And so that might be a really fun a bit funky way of as a teaching resource, so maybe I can share those with this group. There's 4 of them. They did a series of 4, and it's like, hi, I'm from so and so, and it's really quite fun and youthful, which might be a useful thing. But in terms of you know, turning carbon neutrality into a teaching resource, I really don't have prepared a presentation for that, but maybe it's a question back for people in the group. You know, what sort of things could sustainability at Sturt do with you or provide for you that would help contribute to making teaching and learning resources?
Okay, well, I can throw that out to anyone now if anyone wants to jump in. So please jump in if you have any suggestions or questions. But what I do have is actually a video that Ed Maher, who works out with you, Kim, and I made the other day, where we travelled around the campus and had a look at those sort of energy saving initiatives. And I think more importantly, Ed was saying that he was happy for school groups to come out to the uni and have a look at some of those. So do you mind if I just do a screen share on that video now?
That sounds great.
And can you please yell at me to see how the sound is going to go from this video? So can you hear?
Can't hear it.
You can't hear him. Hold on, give me a second to turn it up. Clinton hearing anything?
No.
Okay.
He should have done it in Ausland.
Okay, so what I might do is I might just skip through the video to certain grabs. So let's get a photo of Ed where he's sort of half smiling. That's the best I'll be able to do. So in this little section of the video, Ed was talking about this, and Kim, please jump in as well if I get something wrong. He's talking about, okay, this is some of the transport they're using. It's an electric vehicle on campus and it's charged using their solar panels there. So that's one way that the campus is cutting down on the amount of carbon emissions that they're creating in order to be certified carbon neutral.
Yep, that's correct.
Cool, got that one, did I? Brilliant.
Well done.
The next one here, we were down in a different part of campus, and Ed was pointing out the solar panels installed on CSU's Wagga campus. And he was saying that there are solar panels installed at many of the campuses. So Bathurst, Albury, Wagga. Are they installed at the other campuses as well, Kim?
Yep, you're correct. They're at all the campuses, and they're just about to switch it on for Bathurst. So that was the last instalment, but they're on every campus now.
Brillo. Okay, I'll keep going. This next one here, Ed was talking about the building design of a new building. So it's a science lab. Clinton, you'll be excited about this one. And it's Kim, what star rating was it? 6-star rating?
I think it's the NOUSH building, the National and Life Sciences building, and I think it is a 6.
Yeah.
Could be a
I'll-
7, but let's say 6.
I think he said 6, and I'm going to point out what I remember here. So using bricks they're actually recycled bricks from our local area. So they've each the end of their life on another site, and this site but there's basically secondhand bricks. I'll just have to jog through here to go with my memory. This wood paneling behind Ed here, sorry Ed, this is really unfortunate that I've had to stop you on when that's a much better photo. So responsibly sourced wood paneling there, so the FSC certified wood. And that's what he's pointing out there. And if we go along a little bit further, we've got the gardens there are low water usage gardens. And he also pointed out, if I can find the right spot, it's not going to do it for me. There's a water bottle fill station there, so you don't have to use those vending machines. You can bring your own water bottle. And then, actually, there it is there. That's the water fill station's just over there. And then he showed us the worm farm, which sits within one of those gardens. There was a bit of contamination there he pulled out, but essentially if you take an apple to class and you need to throw it out before you get there, you don't have to throw it in your bag. You can throw it in one of these worm farms, which are managed by staff there.
Yep. If I could just, I just double checked, it's a 5-star energy rating for the building.
Cool.
And we're calling these our worm hotels because they're drilled from the
there we
bottom
go.
and they come in and out as they please. Check in and check out.
Sorry, what checks in and checks out, Kim?
The worms.
Oh, wow.
The worms.
Okay. So you don't actually have to add them?
No, well, they're there, but we put them in at the start. You can actually transplant them to other worm hotels as well, and then they build up.
Yeah, wow.
They just come in and out as they choose.
So Ed was talking about those a bit more, and then we were talking about, this is what I now know as the Learning Commons, which I would have known in my day as a library. But toner, cartridge recycling, battery recycling, oral hygiene recycling, waste, yellow lid recycling. So all those there are helping CSU cut down their greenhouse gas footprint. Is that right, Kim?
Yep, I think you covered a lot in that time. Well done.
So the thing that I found really interesting that Ed said in this video, I sort of really pressured him and said, Ed, why is recycling environmentally friendly? And he said there's 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is because if we're trying to recapture valuable minerals and materials rather than go and mine them again, we're creating less pollution in the air. So I thought that was really interesting. And the other one, oh geez, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but to be honest, that first one was a good enough reason for me that recycling is not just something that you sort of feel is right. It actually means you're putting less pollution not only into landfill, but less greenhouse gases into the air. Because, I mean, if we think of, you want to create a plastic spoon, you've got to go and mine the oil. And then you have to refine that oil to create the plastic, and then the spoon is created. Whereas if you're recycling of plastic, and Elizabeth, jump in here if I'm wrong, you take that whole mining equation out again. And to be honest, if you just use a metal spoon and wash up after you're done with it, you cut everything out. But yeah, so they were the things that Ed mentioned that helped CSU achieve that carbon neutrality. And I'll just try and find a nice photo here. No, that I won't leave it on that. There we go. And so Ed was saying he's open to schools contacting him. Kim, how would they contact you?
They can contact us through our website, Sustainability at Charles Sturt, or they can call directly if they want to call directly.
Okay, cool. Well, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes at the moment. I think I've crossed off all of my points that I wanted to get through. Is there a question? Yeah, Elizabeth?
Kim, just wondering, that huge expansive glass, is that triple glazed or double glazed or something?
I'm sure it had to have been double glazed.
At least.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think what I'd probably also really like to say before we go is thanks very much, Melissa, for joining us today. And Melissa, you should get an email which will have a link to this recording, which is a private link we only send out to schools. And then there'll be minutes in the description of that video. So it'll be a YouTube video, and below that video in the description will be dot points, sort of. So if you want to share it with other teachers, they don't have to watch the whole thing again. So hopefully you should get that the same way you got the link for this. Melissa, may I please ask Kate before you go, did you get the link forwarded to you from your school office?
Yeah, my principal sent it to me.
Yeah, amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, everyone happy with that? Thumbs up?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, everyone, and we'll see you next time. And feel free to contact me at my email address if you've got any questions.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks for sharing.
Bye.
everything.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.